5 years after our breakup, I suddenly received a call from Charlotte. Horace, we'll be picking up the marriage certificate at the Civil Affairs Bureau 5 days from now. Our wedding will be held at Hill Manor. The grand century wedding you promised me. You haven't forgotten, right? My mind went blank, and in my shock, I blurted out, "Didn't we break up 5 years ago?" On the other end, I heard a soft laugh. "Break up? I never agreed to that. You suddenly came back because you heard I was getting married, didn't you? Don't worry, the groom is you. As for Jordan, I hope you can be magnanimous. During the 1,800+ days and nights you were away, it was him who stayed by my side. I believe you can be tolerant of him." I couldn't help but smile and shake my head, immediately hanging up. Suddenly, several bullet comments popped up in front of me. The male lead left without a word for 5 years. Don't be fooled by Charlotte's tough words. Her heart must be breaking. Charlotte announced she was marrying Jordan, but it was all to give the male lead a grand wedding. See, as soon as he came back, she rushed to find him. Reading the comments, I chuckled. Where had Charlotte been all this time? Now, I have a beautiful wife, children, and a complete family. Why would I care about her mess? Main text. I pressed the power off button, tossing my phone, which was being bombarded with endless texts and calls, aside. In the dead of night, faint knocking sounds echoed through the air. Open the door. Horace, how long are you going to make a scene? The voice was so disturbing that I abruptly pulled open the door of the villa. Charlotte, looking a bit disheveled, stopped in her tracks. Her gaze locked onto my face, then scanned my body. She sneered, "TCH, without me, you've become a mess." Huh. Only then did I realize the casual homeware I had thrown on in a hurry was my dad's. It was an old man's shirt, but at least it was comfortable and breathable. I was about to speak, but Charlotte interrupted. "All right, since you realize your mistake, and you're back, I won't hold the fact that you left in a huff against you." Charlotte's tone shifted, her smile fading slightly. "But the punch you threw at Jordan back then, I can't forgive you for that. Now that we're getting married, it's all thanks to Jordan's understanding. I hope you'll apologize to him. Jordan is sincere and kind. During the time you were gone, it was him who took care of me. Because of you, I couldn't give him the status he deserved, but I hope you'll treat him like a brother. Let's build a home for him together." I felt 1,000 curses in my heart, but my face remained impassive. After all, I was no longer the naive young man I once was, and Charlotte wasn't worth my emotional turmoil anymore. If I got angry, she'd probably think I was jealous of Jordan. "Charlotte, why do you think I have to be with you? Have you ever thought that 5 years is a long time? Long enough for me to have gotten married and had children?" Charlotte's eyes swept over my face, and she sneered. "Who in the circle doesn't know that you've always been my simp? You've always had a bad temper and acted recklessly. Who else would tolerate you other than me? Horace, now your family is on the decline. Which family would want to marry their daughter to you? It's only me who would let you marry into my family." Heh. I found it amusing and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Charlotte and I were a perfect match, a marriage arranged since childhood, though it was a family alliance. We had a good relationship. I had promised her that after graduation, I would hold a grand century wedding for her at Hill Manor. But before graduation, she caused a car accident that killed Jordan's grandmother and was entrusted with her care at the time of her death, forever sticking with her like a stubborn plaster. Jordan kept provoking me, and eventually, I couldn't hold back and punched him. Charlotte stepped in front of him, a look of disappointment on her face. "You know how pitiful Jordan is. He has already lost his only family, and I'm all he has left. Can't you let him have this? In my heart, he's like a brother. From now on, you'll be his brother-in-law. Can't you stop being so petty? It seems I've been too indulgent with you. Just calm down, she says." That meant ignoring me for 3 months, while she went around flaunting her love with Jordan every day. Everyone knew Charlotte dumped me and found herself a little puppy. I left her a message, "Let's break up." Without looking back, I went on a solo trip to Paris, France, to clear my mind. Little did I know, that one trip would lead me to meet my current wife. The moment you smiled, I knew you had me in your heart. Otherwise, why would you smile at me? Charlotte reached out to touch my face, but I sidestepped and quickly wiped the smile from my face. I naturally smile a lot. It seems Miss Kim misunderstood. Charlotte Kim shook her head helplessly, a fond smile on her lips. "Horace, you're still as stubborn as ever. Well, if you're going to marry into the Kim family, you can't keep being so disobedient. I know how much you love me, and after 5 years of waiting, I will give you the most perfect wedding." Seeing her lost in her own world, talking to herself, I chose to shut the door immediately. Charlotte tried to block the door with her foot, but it got caught. Her eyes welled up with tears. I paused, and she looked at me with hopeful eyes. "I knew you were worried about me." I chuckled lightly. "Sorry, but you're blocking the door." Seeing me about to close the door again, she quickly pulled back her foot. With a loud bang, the door slammed shut, and I left her with a parting word. "Charlotte, get lost. It's over between us." Bullet comments appeared again. Good news, the female lead finally spoke up. Bad news, why does she have such a poisonous mouth? It would be better if she lost it. Now we know why the male lead left. She deserves to regret it now. I feel like slapping the female lead hard. Male lead, please move on. For the love of God. Charlotte stared at the tightly closed door, a look of someone who had seen through me. Horace, you're still the same as before, always getting angry out of embarrassment. Fine, I won't go in today. Tomorrow, I'll have someone send over a suit for you to try on and see if it fits. Jordan tried it on for you. It fit him perfectly. Since your builds are similar, it should fit you too. My self-restraint stopped me from cursing at her. I suddenly regretted not going back to my home country with my wife in a few days. Unable to hold it in, I kicked the door, signaling her to shut up. Charlotte frowned. Horace, you really need to change that temper of yours. Once you're a son-in-law of the Kim family, you can't keep acting like this. You should learn from Jordan. In the past 2 years, the family business had shifted its focus abroad, and only small ventures were left in the country. In Charlotte's eyes, that meant my family was on the brink of bankruptcy. My parents had long since moved abroad to enjoy their old age, taking the butler and servants with them. Now, the villa was empty, with only me left. If that weren't the case, I would have had her thrown out by now. Charlotte, since you value Jordan so much, why don't you marry him? I meant that sincerely. I was grateful for her not marrying me back then because it allowed me to marry such a wonderful wife now. Jordan's a green tea, and she's narcissistic. They make a perfect match. Outside, Charlotte's laughter echoed. Horace, are you jealous again? I've told you so many times. You're the only one in my heart. I won't return Jordan's feelings. Just wait patiently to put on the suit and be my groom. Listening to her footsteps fade away, I felt a sense of helplessness, like playing the lute to a cow. Well, in a few days, my wife will be visiting China as an envoy, and my parents will bring the kids back to the country. Once Charlotte sees them, she'll stop bothering me. The next morning, as expected, the Kim family sent someone with the suit. It came in a gift box, but I didn't open it. After having worn a world-exclusive, custom-made suit for me, who would care about a second-hand one someone else had tried on? I took the golden embossed invitation from Charlotte Kim's assistant, Sam. I looked at the part that listed the groom's name, Jordan, and saw that it had been crossed out and replaced with Horace. I laughed and threw the invitation back into Sam's hands. Assistant Sam, I think you've got the wrong person. The suit should be sent to Jordan. I'm sure he'd be delighted. Sam's expression changed drastically. Horace, this was supposed to be Kim Miss and Jordan's wedding. It's your interference that made her change her mind. And now you're acting all high and mighty. I really don't understand what Kim Miss saw in you. She's hurting the one who loves her so much, Jordan, just for you. Sure enough, those who are close to ink turn black. Having a bad mind is contagious. I didn't bother to listen to Sam barking behind me and walked away with large strides. After so many years, I really miss the private dishes at banquet hall. Maybe it was just bad luck lately. My car broke down halfway, so I took a cab to the banquet hall. As soon as I got out of the car, I saw Charlotte just opening her car door. She had that look on her face, as if she knew it all along. You returned the suit I had sent over, and now you're here at banquet hall. Horace, can you stop being so two-faced? I know you care about me, but this kind of stalking is disgraceful. You mind Jordan's presence, but if I really wanted to be with him, I would have been with him already. I couldn't help but sneer in my mind. Walking past her straight to the entrance of banquet hall, Charlotte jogged a couple of steps and grabbed my arm. Horace, stop pretending. I saw you came by taxi. Your family's probably going bankrupt. Are you so poor now that you can't even afford a car? It's not that I look down on you, but you really don't have the qualifications to dine at banquet hall now. Don't try to keep up appearances. If you can't pay later, don't come begging me, just because I took a taxi. She thought my family was going bankrupt. I found it hard to understand Charlotte's thought process. I muttered 3 times to myself, don't argue with women. I relaxed my clenched fist and tried to keep my voice calm. I think you should eat more walnuts, to help your brain. Charlotte flashed a knowing smile. You still remember I love walnuts. Fine. I won't hold it against you this time. You came at a good time, though. I've invited some of my sisters, and Jordan's here too. You can apologize to him while everyone's around, and let's put the past behind us. I pulled my foot back from stepping into banquet hall. Suddenly, I lost my appetite. No matter how good the food was, I couldn't eat with her face in front of me. As I turned to leave, someone stepped in front of me. Horace, why do you walk away when you see me? Jordan had completely changed from the man he once was, dressed in designer clothes, wearing a fancy watch, and looking like a kept man. But now, he was a head shorter than me. He glanced at Charlotte with a hint of grievance before turning to me. Is it because of the invitation? Are you upset? You left for 5 years, and then Charlotte suddenly says she's getting married. Everyone thought I was the groom, so they printed the wrong name. If you're angry, blame me. I couldn't control my feelings. Although it's only been 5 years, It's unforgettable for me because Charlotte loves you. I'm willing to return her to you." As he spoke, Jordan's eyes reddened. "Jordan, don't cry." Charlotte took his hand with a look of concern, glaring at me. "Horace, I thought you had changed, but I didn't expect you to still be this impulsive." I didn't say a word. I met Charlotte's gaze, a coldness in my eyes. Charlotte froze for a moment, then her tone softened. "Horace, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but Jordan's background is tragic. You don't understand his sensitivity, although you didn't say anything. Your attitude alone is enough to hurt him. I hope you can apologize to Jordan. After all, you're supposed to be his brother-in-law, and you should take care of him as your younger brother." I couldn't help but curl my lips into a cold smile. Who's his brother-in-law? Did I ever say I was going to marry you? Also, was it me who made his background so tragic? I remember it was you who. "Shut up." Charlotte Kim's face showed disappointment. "Horace, if you still want to marry into the Kim family, stop making trouble." "Charlotte, what's so great about Horace? He left without a word, went abroad, and didn't contact anyone. You cried for him every day. If it wasn't for Jordan noticing early, you would have cried yourself blind." "Yeah, Charlotte, we all saw how good Jordan is to you. He waited for you for 5 years, and we all feel from the bottom of our hearts that he deserves you." "Horace, if I were you, I would be too ashamed to stand here." "You've been playing the hypocrite, abandoning Charlotte back then. Now that you can't stand to see Charlotte and Jordan getting along, you're intentionally trying to destroy their relationship. You're disgusting." I stood there, utterly confused. Charlotte's sisters, seeing that she and Jordan hadn't entered the private room yet, came out to find us confronting each other, and immediately united to attack me. Jordan, leaning on Charlotte's shoulder, had tears in his eyes and actually began to cry. He took off the jade ring from his thumb and, somewhat reluctantly, handed it to me. "Horace, this was given to me by Auntie. She said only the Kim family son-in-law is qualified to wear it. Today, I'm returning it to its rightful owner." Charlotte intercepted it and put the ring back on his finger. "It was my mom who gave it to you, so it's yours. Don't deprive yourself of it." Jordan smiled, a look of happiness on his face, but it quickly froze when he heard Charlotte say, "Don't worry about Horace. I bought an imperial green jade and plan to make a ring for him as a token of my apology." My face stiffened. I sighed, speaking slowly and deliberately. "I'm married, and I have 2 children." A dead silence fell around us. Charlotte, however, calmly released Jordan's hand, walked over to me, and let out a soft laugh. "Horace, stop joking around. Even if you're throwing a tantrum, you shouldn't be telling such big lies. I've already checked, and you're unmarried. There's no way you have any children. Or can you give birth as a man? Did you run away with a child 5 years ago and give me a pair of twins?" Charlotte's sisters burst into laughter, and Jordan shot me a jealous look. I silently took out my phone, planning to show them my 2 adorable little kids. Maybe by some stroke of coincidence, a video call came through. I answered it, and on the screen appeared 2 identical, chubby little round faces. "Daddy." The simultaneous, milk-soft voices of my children instantly captured everyone's attention. Charlotte's breath caught. She grabbed my phone, staring at the 2 little figures on the screen. "Auntie, who are you? Can you give the phone back to Daddy?" The eldest child looked confused, staring at the strange auntie on the screen. Charlotte gasped, her hands trembling. "Who's your daddy?" "Daddy is Daddy." The eldest child was perplexed. "Brother's so silly. Daddy's name is Horace." The younger child waved her tiny little fists. Smack. The phone hit the ground, instantly turning black. The bullet comments exploded. "Oh my God, what's going on? Did the female lead get cheated on? Stop guessing. You've forgotten this is a drama, right? The kids are probably just a plot device to stop the couple from getting together. Maybe it's a test from the male lead to the female lead. These 2 babies are so cute. They look like little sticky rice balls. I just want to give them a kiss." At this moment, my mind was entirely focused on the video that had been abruptly interrupted. I wondered if the kids, the eldest and the youngest, were scared or crying. Seeing me try to pick up the phone, Charlotte stepped on it, crushing the screen under her foot. I didn't want to hit a woman, but there comes a point where enough is enough. Smack. The slap was crisp and loud. Charlotte looked at me in disbelief. "Horace, how dare you hit me? For 2 illegitimate children, you actually laid a hand on me." Smack. I slapped her again. Charlotte took 2 steps back and hid in Jordan's arms, shouting angrily, "You keep saying Jordan has ulterior motives. What about you? You betrayed me and went out to find some other woman. Tell me, who is it? Who dares to seduce my men? I'll make sure she doesn't live a good life." Looking at the hysterical woman before me, I began to question my past judgment. Late-coming affection is more contemptible than grass, and this so-called affection is even more disgusting. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Charlotte seemed to remember something, and a look of disdain crossed her face. "Horace, don't tell me you've turned into a male escort for money. They didn't want you after using you." and just left you with 2 illegitimate children, then ran off. Jordan seized the opportunity and chimed in. Horace, how can you not respect yourself? Charlotte waited for you for 5 years, and this is how you treat her. How could you possibly deserve Charlotte? I thought you'd be happy once you had her, but now, I won't let go. Charlotte's friends quickly gathered around to advise her. Charlotte, this shameless, filthy man isn't worth keeping. Letting him marry into the Kim family would be a joke. Let him go. Only Jordan's deep affection is worthy of the century wedding you've carefully prepared for. Charlotte closed her eyes, her brow furrowed, and after a moment, she relaxed. She took Jordan's hand, their fingers intertwined. 3 days from now, I invite everyone to Hill Manor for my wedding with Jordan. Jordan's face turned bright red with excitement as he shot me a smug look. It was as if he was saying, see, you can never beat me. Charlotte also looked at me, her eyes full of complexity. Horace, the person who was supposed to walk down the aisle with me was you, but you didn't cherish that. You went out and messed around, and our Kim family can't accept a son-in-law like you. So the promise from back then, I can't fulfill it. Although this is all your fault, I still can't let you go. She sighed, a hint of bitterness in her voice. We grew up together, and I never imagined it would come to this. You thought I had feelings for you, and that I was helpless about you. Right, Horace, you have no heart. But why can't I let go of you? Charlotte murmured, her voice thick with emotion. Horace, you no longer deserve to be my husband, but I'm willing to keep a place for you. As long as you send those 2 illegitimate children away, I can accept you again. Jordan is understanding and forgiving. As long as you stop causing trouble, he'll tolerate you. I almost laughed out of anger. How shameless could she be, asking me to be her lover? Jordan's eyes flashed with jealousy, but he pretended to be magnanimous and said, Horace, this is your last chance. If you're willing to change your ways and serve Charlotte properly, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones and accept you. I gave a cold smile and said, first, I won't send the children away, and I don't want anything to do with Charlotte. Second, Jordan, don't hate me. I'm not going to fight you for a woman. If you want to be a dog for Charlotte, that's your business. Third, I genuinely wish both of you a long and happy marriage, with children soon. Charlotte was convinced I was just being stubborn. She softened her tone. All right, stop standing here at the door. Come inside the private room. Horace, you love banquet hall squirrel fish, right? I'll have them ordered for you. Don't push your luck. My patience is limited. Bullet comments floated by. I think the plot is getting a bit strange. The female lead seems to not understand a word people are saying. It's not just the female lead who doesn't understand. The male supporting character and the female lead's group of friends clearly don't understand either. I feel like the male lead is going through too much. No normal person can handle being around this many crazy people. It must be exhausting. I never expected that one day I would find myself in a situation where I had to prove that I didn't love Charlotte. I didn't want to drag it on any longer, so I turned and left. Jordan's voice came from behind, filled with smug satisfaction. Why did Horace leave? Is he unhappy with your arrangements? Charlotte, he's too ashamed to show up. Forget about him. We'll eat by ourselves. Let Sam pack a meal for him, something he likes, and send it over later. Charlotte's voice drifted in my ears, but I pretended not to hear it. By the time I got home, the sun had already set. Sam was waiting outside my door. As soon as I got out of the car, he placed the packed meal on the ground, blocking my path. The bag was marked with the words banquet hall, and I could smell the rich fragrance wafting from the bag. Take it away, I said coldly. Sam looked at me with disdain. Horace, you're just Miss Kim's lover now. What gives you the right to defy her? I suggest you pick up the food off the ground quietly and don't anger Miss Kim. Otherwise, you won't even get this small favor. Get lost. I kicked the box aside without even glancing at him and walked straight into the villa. The next day, I found a familiar golden embossed invitation at my doorstep. It seemed like Sam had left it behind yesterday. Groom, Jordan, bride, Charlotte. I pressed my hand to my forehead. Was Charlotte really hoping I would attend her wedding? Well, if that's what she wanted, then so be it. Hill Manor covers almost 10,000 acres, surrounded by mountains on 3 sides and facing the sea on the other, with beautiful scenery like something out of a painting. I had once hoped to hold a dreamy wedding with my beloved at Hill Manor. That wish had long been fulfilled. I had bought Hill Manor and gifted it to my wife as a wedding present. Since then, I've opened Hill Manor to host weddings for couples in love, free of charge. However, it's limited to 1 couple per month, with the opportunity available through a lucky draw. After investigating, I found that someone within the manor had taken bribes and secretly arranged for Charlotte to have this chance. I instructed the manor manager to proceed as usual and make sure Charlotte had an unforgettable wedding. 2 days flew by, and the wedding venue was set on the central island of the lake. When I arrived at the entrance, the usher looked at the invitation in my hand and immediately stopped me. Sir, This invitation is a special one. The groom has specifically instructed that you wait outside until the ring exchange ceremony is completed before you can enter. Was Jordan afraid I would take his place as the son-in-law? I didn't stop, continuing to walk inside. The usher tried to stop me, but someone next to him pulled him back. Are you crazy? This Mr. Horace's suit alone is worth $3 million. Hearing that, the usher didn't dare to stop me and quickly retreated to the entrance. There were quite a few people on the lake island attending the wedding, gathered in small groups, discussing business or chatting casually. Jordan had been feeling uneasy all morning. Although he had instructed the ushers not to let me in, he kept watching the entrance. As soon as I stepped into the venue, his eyes immediately fixed on me. Who is that young man? He looks so refined. He's really handsome, way more so than the groom today. Seeing all eyes on me, they ignored the fact that Jordan was the actual groom today. Jordan was grinding his teeth with anger. He stormed up to me. How did you get in here? I retorted sarcastically. Didn't you invite me? Jordan raised his voice. I clearly told you not to. Why are you so afraid of me coming in? Are you worried that if I'm here, Charlotte will back out of marrying you? He was caught off guard, his face turning ugly. How could I possibly be afraid of you? I just think you're not worthy of coming in and tainting the pure wedding I have with Charlotte. Someone, get him out of here. 2 security guards approached, recognizing me immediately. Since I had given them prior notice, they didn't expose my identity, but they also wouldn't listen to Jordan and throw me out. What a joke. Who would dare throw the boss out? Seeing the guards not moving, Jordan became frantic. What's wrong with you two? I ordered you to get him out, right now, immediately, or I'll have you both fired on the spot. Jordan, I think you're mistaken. We work for Hill Manor and aren't under your command, one of the guards said calmly. Jordan's face alternated between red and pale. Do you know who the Kim family is? I'm the son-in-law of the Kim family. If you disrespect me, I'll make sure you regret it. Jordan, please don't disrupt the order. If you continue, we have the right to revoke the venue and blacklist the Kim family. Never working with you again. Enough. In front of so many people. How can you act like this? The noise drew Charlotte's attention, and she quickly rushed over to stop the commotion. Jordan, it seems your background is your weak point, and your vision is limited. Do you realize that from now on, every action you take will represent the Kim family? I hope you can adapt to high society soon, or you'll be embarrassing the Kim family. Seeing that Charlotte was genuinely angry, Jordan began to knead her shoulders and pat her back, apologizing quietly. Charlotte, I didn't mean it. It's all because these security guards won't listen. Charlotte covered his mouth, her expression dark. Watch your words. The power behind Hill Manor is said to be the Sanchez family. Jordan's face drained of color. The legendary Sanchez family. Yes, the top family in Country A. The Sanchez family. Now do you understand why I told you not to speak carelessly? If we offend the Sanchez family, our small Kim family is nothing in front of them. Hearing Charlotte Kim solemnly explain about the Sanchez family, I couldn't help but laugh. Charlotte glanced at me, and in the next second, admiration flashed in her eyes. Horace, you look really good in that suit. Jordan coughed lightly, and Charlotte quickly regained her composure. Today is my wedding, and the unfortunate thing is that the groom isn't you, but in my heart, you will always be the most important. You say you don't care, but I know deep down, you love me. Otherwise, with your temper, you wouldn't be here today. I raised my hand in a pause gesture, forcing a smile. If you insist on thinking that way, I can't help it. I'm just thankful I didn't marry you. Just as I was about to turn and leave, 2 little figures came running toward me like bouncing balls, muttering, Daddy, Big Brother and Little Brother are here. A radiant smile spread across my face, the brightest I'd had in days. I knelt down and pulled both little chubby bundles into my arms, giving each of them a kiss on the forehead. Big Brother and Little Brother, who brought you here? Grandma, the 2 little rascals said in unison, and I finally saw my mom, breathless, catching up to them. Slow down, you little troublemakers. I was about to ask where their mom was when I heard Charlotte speak up. Auntie, has Horace really gotten married? My mom probably found it a bit hard to believe, but Charlotte had grown up in front of her. Back then, Charlotte was sweet and charming, and my mom adored her. But for some reason, one day Charlotte changed. After what happened 5 years ago, my mom had stopped liking Charlotte. Yes, he's married. Her tone was neither cold nor warm, and I thought Charlotte might take the hint and leave, but instead, she stepped forward, and right in front of my mom, her eyes started to redden. Auntie, don't help Horace lie to me. Even after 5 years apart, Horace and I still love each other deeply. I hope you can help us be together. My mom was taken aback, but her mind was working quickly. Today is your big day with that Sanchez guy. What's your business with my son? You have no shame, but we still have our dignity. Charlotte grabbed my mom's hand, pleading, even if I marry Jordan, I can still be with Horace. My mom's eyes widened. Charlotte, have you lost your mind? You want my son to be your lover? Suddenly, a calm voice rang out. carrying a sense of authority that made everyone stop. "Who dares to covet my husband?" The tone was calm but carried a heavy pressure that everyone in the room could feel. Bullet comments flooded the screen. "Holy crap, what's going on? Feels like the big boss just entered. Did you all notice? Charlotte's female lead status just vanished. How did the female lead's name change to Rebecca?" Rebecca, my wife, walked toward us with elegant steps, her every move radiating grace and nobility. The crowd stood frozen, mesmerized. I reached out and pulled her into my arms, my hand lightly tracing her waist, marking my territory. "Who is she?" Charlotte's face turned pale, and she jumped out to question me. It was such an obvious answer, but she still couldn't let go. Rebecca gently tugged on my tie, and with a light laugh, I bent down toward her, looking at her lips, so close. I kissed her, her cheeks flushed with a gentle pink, and after a calm breath, she looked at Charlotte and said, "I'm his wife, Rebecca." Charlotte's pupils suddenly contracted, as if she had just heard something she couldn't accept. "No, Horace, is she lying to me? The one you've always loved is me, isn't it? I'll take you back from him." As she spoke, Charlotte's eyes burned with intense hatred, like a sharp knife aimed at Rebecca. "Charlotte, you're wrong. Our fate ended 5 years ago. Now, in my eyes and heart, there is only one person, and that's Rebecca." I shifted my position slightly to stand in front of Rebecca. Hearing her let out a soft chuckle, I breathed a sigh of relief. My wife is a big vinegar jar, and if she started overthinking, I might be in for a punishment of kneeling on durian tonight. Charlotte froze, then shouted, "I don't believe it, unless you prove it to me, Mommy. This auntie is scary. She looks like a monster that eats children." Big brother clung to Rebecca's leg, peeking from behind. "Brother, how many times do I have to tell you? There are no monsters in the world. She probably has what the doctor calls a nervous disorder." Little brother lifted his small head and pointed his finger at Charlotte's nose. I scoffed. "Do I still need to prove it?" Big brother and little brother were mini versions of Rebecca. Anyone with eyes could tell we were a family of 4. Seeing that Charlotte was still fixated on me, Jordan tightly embraced her and said with deep emotion, "Charlotte, he's already teamed up with that wild woman to humiliate you. Do you still want to let him continue trampling on your heart?" For the first time, someone's called me a wild woman. Rebecca narrowed her phoenix eyes, a smile that wasn't quite a smile playing on her lips. "Could it be that I've been away from country A for so long that no one remembers my name?" The crowd suddenly stirred. "My God, she's the legendary ruthless Sanchez family matriarch, Rebecca Sanchez. I once had the fortune of seeing President Sanchez from a distance. The aura she carries, that's definitely her. That distinguished gentleman next to her is actually President Sanchez's husband. They make such a perfect match." Charlotte's face stiffened, and she kept muttering, "This can't be. This can't be." She kept stepping back, and with a crash, she knocked over the 8-tier champagne tower behind her. The glasses toppled in a chain reaction, spilling champagne everywhere, and shards of glass flew through the air. Charlotte was drenched in the drink, her face and hair soaked, looking utterly disheveled. "Unworthy daughter, are you trying to ruin the Kim family? The Kim family was handed over to you, and you've caused such a disaster. Don't just stand there, go apologize to President Sanchez right now." Charlotte's father looked as though he was about to be driven mad by her. After being absent for only a short time, she had already offended the Sanchez family, a giant. "President Sanchez, it's my daughter's fault for not recognizing the importance of this. Please, show mercy and let her off this time." Charlotte's father, who had stood tall all his life, now hunched over as he bowed deeply to Rebecca in apology. "Father, don't beg her. She's a fake." Slap. Charlotte's father slapped her with full force, leaving a purple mark on her cheek. "Rogue. Kneel down. Apologize to them." Charlotte's father's attitude made it impossible for Charlotte to continue deceiving herself. Her legs gave way, and she fell to her knees in front of us, her eyes filled with humiliation and her face ashen. "President Sanchez, Mr. Horace, I was blind and offended both of you. Please forgive me. Enough. Don't ever appear in front of me again." I said these words indifferently, pulling Rebecca and the 2 children to leave. I had originally planned to reveal my identity during the wedding and slap these 2 in the face, kicking them out of Hill Manor. I didn't expect Rebecca to return to the country early and show up here. And Charlotte's father, fearing the Sanchez family, forced Charlotte to kneel and apologize. My goal was accomplished. Now, in my eyes, Charlotte was just an insignificant clown, and I couldn't care less what happened to her next. Jordan tightly held Charlotte, his face filled with pity. "Charlotte, you still have me. I'll always be with you. As long as you turn back, I'll be right behind you." The speakers, which had been playing piano music on both sides of the venue, suddenly emitted static noise. The next moment, Jordan's voice came through the speakers. "Horace, so what if you're born well? You're still just a loser under my hand. You think Charlotte will believe me if I shed a few tears? You can only crawl out of the country in disgrace." That idiot Charlotte really thought I loved her to the moon and back. If it weren't for her family's money, and for marrying into the Kim family, I wouldn't even bother pretending with her. Ha ha ha. It's hilarious. She actually thought my grandmother died because of her. I had already set my sights on her, and had my grandmother do the dirty work, not expecting to meet such a gullible fool. If I don't scam her, who will? Charlotte seemed struck by lightning. She grabbed Jordan's wrist, her nails digging deeply into his flesh. Was all your gentleness, all your thoughtfulness, just an act, you scumbag? For money, you've been deceiving me and using me all along. Jordan quickly explained. That's not it, Charlotte. Everything was a trap set by Horace. Have you forgotten the little moments we've shared over the last 5 years? My love can never be fake. Charlotte no longer wanted to listen to his excuses. She shouted angrily, you must still be laughing at me, right? Laughing at me for being such an idiot, getting played by you, that if it weren't for your meddling, I would never have had this misunderstanding with Horace. Without you, Horace wouldn't have left me. Jordan's hand was bleeding from Charlotte's grip, and his emotions were provoked by the malice in Charlotte's eyes. He stopped pretending, sneering. That's right, you're a fool. If it weren't for your good family background, do you think I'd ever look at you? I've been humoring you for 5 years. Even a dog would be moved by me. But while you flirted with me, you still kept thinking about getting Horace to marry into your family. Charlotte, you're disgusting. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Charlotte grabbed Jordan by the neck, completely losing control. Jordan tore her hands off him and countered, grabbing her by the neck. Charlotte was almost suffocating. Her long nails scratched Jordan repeatedly, and in a desperate attempt to break free, she kicked him hard in the groin. Jordan was hit in his weak spot, pain flooding through him as he stumbled backward and fell into the pile of shattered glass from the collapsed champagne tower, rolling in the debris. At my signal, the security staff immediately stepped forward to restrain the enraged Charlotte. Why stop them? Isn't it fun to watch a dog fight a dog? Rebecca whispered in my ear. I couldn't help but feel a little helpless. I already suspected she was the one who had exposed Jordan's true nature earlier. This is the place where we got married. Don't make a mess here. Rebecca looked satisfied with my response, but she teased. As long as you're not still hung up on your ex. I laughed lightly. Do you really think she's worth me getting jealous over? Not just anyone can catch my attention. I knew it. Darling, you only have eyes for me. She gazed at me with affection, and I couldn't resist leaning down to kiss her lips. My mom quickly covered the children's eyes. Oh, dear, don't let the kids see this. At this moment, bullet comments popped up. The original ending was, Horace forgave Charlotte, and they lived happily ever after. Charlotte was the female lead. So how did she end up like this? How could such a trashy woman be the female lead? Maybe the author changed the plot. Rebecca and the male lead are the perfect match. Help! My mind is full of the sweet kisses between the couple just now. I'm sitting with my little stool, waiting for more of the embarrassing moments to come. Haha. Agreed +1. Agreed +2. Agreed +100. Suddenly, Charlotte, who was being restrained, shuddered as if she saw something unbelievable. Her gaze went blank for a moment. Then it seemed she grasped something incredibly important. A flash of light sparked in her eyes. Ha ha ha. I'm the female lead. I'm the female lead. Charlotte laughed maniacally, and an incredible surge of energy filled her body. She broke free from her restraints and charged toward me and Rebecca. The security guards swarmed to stop her. I am the chosen one. I am the ruler of this world. All you little minions, get out of my way. Charlotte, full of confidence, turned to me and said, Horace, come here. I can forgive you this time. I realized that Charlotte could see the bullet comments too. Leave it to me. Rebecca wiped the smile off her face when she looked at Charlotte, her gaze turning cold as ice. The two women faced off, with Charlotte acting like a crazed tigress, charging toward Rebecca first. Rebecca remained unfazed, calmly lifting her leg and kicking Charlotte across the room. Charlotte got up and Rebecca kicked her again. Get up, kick. Charlotte lay on the ground like a dead dog, gasping for air, while Rebecca's high heel was firmly planted on her face. The female lead of Horace can only be me. Get lost. Rebecca lifted her foot, wiped her hands with a tissue, and threw it at Charlotte's face. I belatedly realized. Honey, you can see them too. Show. Rebecca laughed lightly. I just saw it. I leaned down and whispered in her ear. They said they want to see more of the embarrassing scenes. She covered my mouth and gave me a look that clearly said, you'll be punished when we get home. But in the end, she couldn't punish me and was instead the one I had my way with. The next day, I felt refreshed as I enjoyed the heartfelt breakfast that Rebecca had made for me. She casually mentioned that after we left, Jordan mocked Charlotte as a stray dog, but the enraged Charlotte slashed his manhood with a piece of glass, and the police eventually took both of them away. The farce had come to an end. Not long after, the Kim group went into massive debt, on the brink of bankruptcy. Charlotte Kim's father angrily disowned his ungrateful daughter, removing her from the family. Jordan charged Charlotte Kim with intentional injury, while Charlotte sued Jordan for fraud. Both were sent to prison. I looked down at Rebecca nestled in my arms, with our eldest son holding onto my left leg and our youngest clinging to my right. Wife, children, and warmth, this life is more than enough for me.